Hello, I'm going to kind of speed run through chapters 3 and 4 and what I gained and learned from them. Chapter 3 was about individual differences and personalities, individual differences relating to self-concept, which was made up of self-esteem, which is your own worth and what you think you're valued, and then self-efficacy, which is what you're actually able to succeed and do things. It talked about how personality is made up of nature versus nurture, nature being your personality is based on genetics, or nurture being it's based on your environment. It talked about personality traits and how those were your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors, and how those are typically introversion versus extroversion, which is where you get your actual energy from. It talked about different types of personality tests, including the Myers-Briggs type indicator test, the Usenik's personality theory, and then Cattell's 16 personality factors. It talked about the Big Five model, which is the 5 dimensions of personality. And then it talks about the core self-evaluation, where you can determine your own self-worth, your own abilities, and your own control. It talks about the Hexaco model, being honesty and humility, emotionality, extroversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and openness to experience. And then it talked about person-job fit versus person-organization fit, basically meaning that you want to make sure your job or organization aligns with your morals and your ethics. It talks about personality conception and the things that is built of, and then it kind of ended off with a dark triad being narcissism, Machiavellism, and then locus of control. And then chapter 4 began to talk about perception, which is how we receive and interpret our environments. It talked about the selection process of perception involving your perceiver, the environment, and the focal object. It gave examples of perceptual distortions being stereotypes, selective attention, and then the halo, primacy, recency, and contrast effects, and projecting, self-fulfilling prophecy, and impression management. It talked about the attribution theory, which is people typically looking for 2 different causes of behavior, internal or external behavior of others. And then it talked about the fundamental attribution error, which is typically underestimating the influence of external factors, but overestimating the influence of internal factors. It talked about learning processes and behavioral theory including classical and operant condition, and then reinforcement theory, the different types of reinforcement, including positive, negative, punishment, and extinction. And then it talked about schedules of reinforcement. And then it talked about social cognitive theory, being learning by observing, imitating, or modeling others. And it finished talking about the triadic reciprocal model of behavior, which basically ties everything in that chapter together and says that human functioning is shaped by 3 different factors reciprocally related, those 3 factors being reinforcement, cognitive process, and behavior. That is chapters 3 and 4.